What is up, guys? Here from the Madden YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to take a look at day 2 of the Singleback Doubles Off Close out of the Oakland Raiders and Washington Redskins offense and playbooks. But before we do that, guys, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads coming your way here daily on the Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to watch me play Madden live, you guys can find me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZanMadden. The link for that Twitch channel is below in the description, as is a link for my ebook bundle. If you guys are interested in getting my offense and my defense together, that link will take you to my PayHip account, where you guys will receive instant delivery of over 3 hours of content on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. My 3-4 Bear, which I've been running since the first day the game dropped. And of course, my Washington Redskins Hot Route Master offense, which we're going to be looking at a secondary scheme here today. In the video, we're talking day 2, Singleback Doubles Off Close. Again, this is in the Oakland Raiders playbook as well, which is one of the most popular playbooks in the game. So this should be able to benefit you guys out there that like the Raiders book, as well as the guys who want to play kind of a off-meta style of football and run that Washington Redskins book that is available in that ebook bundle. Okay, guys, so yesterday we talked about the jet sweep. We talked about what makes a good jet sweep versus what makes a bad jet sweep. If you guys didn't watch that video, please make sure you guys do so. The link for that video is also in the description. Lots of links in the description today for you guys to tell whether an Undercenter jet sweep is a good blocking one or a bad blocking one. So we're going to be kind of keying off of that motion here today, that slot motion. Now, as we build the foundation of this offense, what I want to talk about is you either want a hot route master quarterback. There are a ton of them in MUT. If you guys play MUT, obviously the golden ticket quarterbacks are ideal. They have escape artist and hot route master together. If you do not want to use a hot route master quarterback, you can get away with one slot apprentice. So you would want that player at the slot receiver position right here. He's going to be your auto motion player. Now, obviously with the Vikings, we're talking about Adam Thielen having this, but in MUT, you guys are going to want somebody that actually can be dynamic with the ball and can also get that slot apprentice. It's a little bit more easily customized in MUT than it is in regs. I know most of you guys that watch me do play MUT. Some of you guys are regs players, so I want to go ahead and show you Adam Thielen here. Now, obviously, this offense would be better with a hot route master offense or a tight end apprentice as well. So if you guys can get a tight end apprentice over here or a hot route master quarterback, we'll be talking about some tight end motions as well in this scheme over the next day or two. So just kind of keep in mind on that as we go through this. So let's go ahead and focus on the package of wide receiver motion here today and what makes this scheme so good. So naturally, we're talking about establishing the jet sweep and the stretch and dive. Those are going to be your main run plays out of this formation. The dive, obviously, when the soft middle looks open, you're going to take the dive. The stretch is obviously there when they are giving you an outside run lane to the tight end side. It is an RPO with a stretch alert. We'll go ahead and kind of talk about that as well, because this is a really, really good quick pass screen, better than most of the other RPO screens in the game. So let's go ahead and talk about that first before we get into the wide receiver motion. Now, if you're facing any type of heavy blitz pressure out of this formation, this is really where people are going to get beat. Obviously, is where they do this thing where they're kind of pressing. They're trying to play man coverage, trying to guarantee the pressure and whatnot. This stretch is just absolute money. You do not even want the quarterback to turn and start to run to the outside. You're just literally going to pop this throw to the outside. And you see how you get that block right away? This is going to be an easy one-play score against those cover zero blitzers. Obviously, if you have a little bit of speed at that wide receiver spot. I'll go ahead and illustrate that again for you guys here as we go ahead and show you the pinch buck if they do that mug everything look, and again, most players are going to use the weak side safety in this look, and they're just going to try to, even if they play outside quarters on the outside, they're going to try to mug the gap and guarantee that pressure. Again, don't even get into the RPO, just hike, throw it, get out behind this receiver, and you're going to be able to go for that one-play score against the cover zero. So they really have no chance to play the mug 8 game or the mug 7 game with the user being the 8th guy. This is just something that they are going to struggle mightily to defend if they want to try to blitz everyone. So first things first, you have to establish the line of scrimmage. You have to show them, hey, I'm going to take whatever you give me, whether that's an inside run, a stretch call, a jet sweep, or if I have to throw this spacing concept, this numbers game to the outside, I will do that to make sure that I can get you out of these heavy blitzes. Now, obviously right there, sometimes your blocking will fail you. Of course, it is Madden 20 we're talking about here. So, you know, don't be discouraged if you occasionally take a quick sack, because the pros definitely outweigh the cons in terms of, you know, running this. So, you know, if you catch them doing this stuff where they're trying to, you know, really try to bait or guarantee pressure, just get the ball out, you know, get the ball out there as quickly as possible, and you're going to be able to throw that and run this to the crib pretty consistently. So let me go ahead and veer out of bounds. I think we've established just how good this stretch is. But again, the foundation of this offense is going to be found in the fact that it does attack the heavy blitz meta so well. Obviously, Thielen, again, not the most fleet of foot receiver in the game. But if you catch them doing this heavy mug stuff, you know, maybe they use this guy instead. They decide that they want Thielen, you know, they want to, you've hit them with the screen a few times, so they switch their user, and now they're over here. This is where you're going to say, okay, I'm going to hit this jet sweep, and we're going to get this handed off to Thielen going this way, you know, to the outside. And obviously, if this is Tyreek Hill instead of Thielen, you're talking a one-play score that direction. So being able to run that blitz 7 meta is just not viable against the actually good blocking screen to the left, the jet sweep to the right. And then obviously, if they want to run this heavy blitz meta, you can also still hit that stretch alert screen and actually hand the ball off if the blocking is consistent for you. Obviously, from game to game, different abilities will dictate who's going to block shed and who's not. But you know, if you're viewing like you can get to the outside on this stretch call, go ahead and do that. Obviously, we missed a block right there from the tight end, but if he gets that block, we're gone. That's a one-play score. So you can kind of see that this actually attacks that blitz 7 meta very well without having to throw, which is a really big pain point for a lot of players out there. They want to run the ball. And they want to throw the screen game against the heavy blitz meta, which makes sense. If you're going to mug the gaps and give easy run lanes in a cover 0 look, you should be paying the price in the screen game and the outside zone game if you can get to that second level. Or even the inside zone game for that matter as well. Now, naturally, if you can get them spreading their coverage to the outside, you know, maybe they want to decide to sit in some cover 4. They do the spread the linebackers thing. That's where you're going to, you know, obviously rally into your dive call. I don't have the dive up right now, but you know, the stretch doesn't work as well against the cover 4, but don't worry, we're going to get into how to attack that cover 4 here right now. So let's go ahead and talk about this. We talked about the jet sweep, that fly sweep motion yesterday, and what makes it so great. People are going to 100% go to the cover 4 if they can't man blitz you out of this look. So you're going to see a plenty of this cover 4 drop show too. Now, I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but if you guys go to the PA fly sweep, this play is unbelievably good against cover 4. The set it and forget it cover 4 drop players, they're a dime a dozen. You know, they do this look, they basically press, and then they just kind of lurk in center field and they rush 3, right? And they prey on those front 3 to do everything for them. They really don't want to have to use her. They've got basically 7 other defenders in zone around them. They just want to cover their little sliver of field in the left or right inside quarter of the field, and then they want to click off when there's a play coming their way. That is how defense is really played in this game. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to, if you notice them going to this, you cannot hot route in this play. You can see I'm trying to, you know, pull up my hot route menu. It does not let me. But if you catch them in the set it and forget it cover 4 drop, which will happen quite a bit, you will be able to throw wide open to the Y receiver. So let this play out. It's not that long of a play action. It's actually pretty good. You just see it's a little baby play action, and throw the ball to the Y receiver, because what happens is that purple zone matches into man coverage on that wheel route to the tight end. So let me go ahead and go to the replays menu and kind of break this down for you. So we're taking a look here at the, I'm going to go ahead and highlight him. It's this player right here, this outside linebacker. And what ends up happening on this play is he is in the purple zone, that curl flat zone. He's responsible for playing force in this play in the run game. So his responsibility in zone coverage is to play the purple, get to that curl flat. For some reason on this play, he decides to convert to man coverage on this wheel and then leaves the auto motion jet sweep, which also turns into a wheel, wide open out of the backfield. So you can throw this little check down right behind him, and he doesn't even know that the route is there. Now, obviously, if they want to shade their coverage, so let's say they go to a hard flat and we go to this exact same call, you're going to see a little bit of a difference here. So play action goes down, hard flat. You're going to look to throw the wheel just a little bit later. You're just going to throw it right behind him. Now, right there, that was a fumble. Very rare catch drop. That's ruled a fumble, but you see that he's open. Let's go ahead and illustrate that again. We're going to shade into cover 4 with hard flats. you're going to notice right off the jump that he doesn't turn around and play man-to-man. You see right there, he doesn't turn. So now you're like, okay, I'm just going to wait, be a little patient. You're going to throw that ball right there for the catch off of the fly sweep. Now, another thing to kind of consider on this play is if you can get some good vertical speed at this tight end spot, this throw behind to the secondary wheel on this play will be a lot faster because you can get that tight end stretching vertically down the field, pulling the deep zone back, and then you're going to have more terrain to throw the ball as Thielen turns up the sideline. Now, if they shade into cover 4 with cloud flats, let's go ahead and take a look at that here. We have this auto motion, same play action, it's just a little boot action. You notice that this play does not break down very well against cloud flats. So cover 4 with cloud flats against this will shut it down, but how many players are going to do that? Not too many players are going to be willing to play cover 4 with cloud flats, so don't worry about that too much. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what happens if they are playing cover 4 with cloud flats. Let's go ahead and go back to yesterday's video. At the tail end of the video, I showed you a little sneak peek. I want to go ahead and go back to our play call menu and show you a play that you can throw in your audibles. This is one of my favorite quick pass options with that same auto mode, or not the same auto motion, but the same motion of that slot receiver across the package. So we're going to throw the play stick into our audibles. So why we're going to replace that. And whatever, we come out in our jet sweep or our dive, doesn't really matter. Let's say for one reason or another, they go back to their cover 4 drop show 2, and we notice that they're playing cloud flats to shut down the double wheel setup. Now, all of a sudden, we can go ahead and check into stick. So they're in these cover 4 clouds. Now what we want to do is we want to use this auto motion snap to Thielen to the outside. You're going to be able to throw this ball, get that out, rack it up the field. You see that if you actually got a little bit of speed, maybe some grab and go on that receiver. I really think that the combination of the jet sweep and that little quick throw, if you have grab and go or human joystick on that receiver, that would be so big for you because you're going to be able to get those handoffs going outside. You're going to be able to throw those quick balls in space, get those little rack swerves. And then if you just have one guy to beat, you've got that grab and go and they're a non-ability corner, non-tackle ability corner, that's really where you're going to start to make your big plays out of this. So this is a very low risk offense in terms of, how easy it is to run, how safe most of the calls are, the spacing involved, and those types of factors that you're looking at. Again, right here, if you know the outside linebacker's in that flat, you're basically going to you want to snap that ball as soon as possible. But ideally you want to get that motion going upfield where you're not waiting for him to set. So let me go ahead and go back to that cover 4 with the cloud flats here. You notice that they're doing that, maybe some off coverage on the outside. The setup for this would be to streak the B receiver. Just want to pull both those outside zones on the deep outside right into center field and allow us to throw this little outside releasing route to Thielen. So once Thielen starts to get across the formation, I try to start spamming the snap button. And right there, I threw it just a hair late. You want to throw it as soon as you possibly can. It's an up and outside lead. And you click on and rack it upfield. So let me go ahead and do this one more time here. Again, our setup on this might be just to streak the B receiver. This is just a very simple setup. Let him get across the formation, start snapping that ball, and then you're going to throw it, click on, swerve outside, rack it. You see how that can be an easy one-play score. If this is literally anyone but Thielen, and in fact, even with Thielen, it's still a one-play score against any type of off coverage with an outside linebacker responsible for the flat. The same could be said against cover 3. So if you audible to cover 3, obviously right there, that's a safety in that flat. You don't want that. But if they run cover 3 flipped, where they have the slot safety over that guy, you're going to be able to, or the safety over the slot guy, you're going to be able to check into this call and go straight the other direction, even if they're in a cloud flat with this type of motion. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean here. Thielen going to be motioned to the outside here. And again, you're just going to start snapping the ball. It didn't let me do it. Let me go ahead and motion back. The snap timing on this is a little wonky. You have to be careful. You do have to be careful. If you're worried about spamming and snapping and throwing the ball instantly to your tight end, you can put him on a delay fade or just block him altogether. So that way you don't do that. That'll allow you to really spam this throw a little bit better. So see how it lets me do it. But right there, my double motion kind of screwed some stuff up right there. So let me go back to it. So again, if they're in that cover 3, and you notice that they've got the linebacker responsible for the flat, that's where you can take, especially if they're playing off coverage on the outside, that's where you're going to be able to take that throw away from them. So again, right here, you're just going to start kind of spamming, and then you're going to throw kind of an up and outside lead, rack it, and you're gone. One play score against any type of off coverage with the outside linebacker responsible for the flat. That would be a zone. So cover 3 and cover 4, you're gonna be able to exploit that very, very easily. Now, if they're playing any type of cover 3 and you've got some speed to work with on this play, you could go ahead and do something like this. You streak the B, and what you're going to do is you're going to, especially if they press, they're going to start to press on this to take away that quick throw to Y. This is where you're going to be able to kind of exploit the seam. Ideally, you're looking to exploit the seam by throwing kind of an outside pass lead to that B receiver all the way to the backside of this formation. So you're gonna know right away based off of the safety, because in cover 3 you've got one safety rotating down, one safety rotating up to center field. So if they give you the cover 3 look that looks like this with that safety out there, that you know that when you see this safety down here on the edge, that means that this safety is rotating from the left side all the way to center field. And if they're playing any type of press coverage, that's going to be trouble because the B receiver is going to be so wide open. So immediately, you know, cover 3, you're going to check into the stick play. You're going to streak that B receiver. You're just going to go to this motion snap because you know right away that B is going to be open for the one play score. So you can even let him set for all I care. Right there, kind of a reroute. But again, you're going to have this outside lead right there to this player. Any type of speed at that spot, that's going to be an easy one play score against the cover 3 zone. So you've got something that attacks off cover 3. You've got something that attacks press cover 3 for a one play score. You know, if they go to the cover 3 and they decide to rotate their safeties opposite. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say that they rotate it like this. You're still going to notice that that other safety rotates over the slot defender. So you're basically in the same spot where you could go ahead and streak that B receiver and try this motion. Now, you will notice that the safety does travel to center field, and that will change it. So that's where you're going to notice that you don't really have the outside pass lead to B. So just kind of be aware. Now, fortunately, this still kind of works as a curl flat concept for a check down purpose. So you could let that tight end kind of run his route out there and still throw that to him. Now let's go ahead and get out of this. That is just stick. That is something really, really tricky and quick and cute that you can use to mix with your jet sweep. The next thing that I want to go to is more of a cover 2 beater. And we're actually going to go to a different play here. So we're going to go to the play, if I can find it, bench corner stop. And this is going to be a really, really good cover 2 beater. This is something that you can just go quickly to. It's going to clear any cloud flat to the wide side of the field, which is perfect because you're running this with the solo receiver or the receiver with the tight end side to the wide side of the field pre-snap. It's cover 2, simple. You're just going to basically streak the tight end. You're just going to streak him. And you're going to let B run his route, get over to that wide sideline, throw an up pass lead, 30 yards. I don't think I really need to show it again, but I will. I'll show it one more time. This is a very, very simple cover 2 beater. Again, you just streak the tight end. That simple. Cover 2. Tight end doesn't get pressed. B receiver doesn't get pressed. Up pass lead, 35, 40 yards. Very, very easy. All right, so that's your cover 2 beater. Very simple. Now, if you want to, you can start to mix in the motion of the slot receiver. Keep all things kind of even here. Put him on a streak. Motion him across the formation. And you can basically snap the ball right here as well. Now, the problem is that when he runs the streak, he's going to pull that cloud flat deeper, but you should still have this route. And that's going to pull the safety away from that corner throw. So if that safety is kind of getting over to that corner throw, you can go ahead and go with that motion of that player. So you could go ahead and do that. Now, another thing I like to do to manipulate cover 2 is we are going to talk about the match system. So anytime, we've talked about this before, anytime you have 2 vertical routes and the second one's a wheel, it causes cloud flats to match. So we're going to go to a different play here, and I'm going to show you a play called switch comeback. And this is where you need that slot apprentice. So your slot apprentice now is going to go on a post route on this play, and you could just snap the ball. And I want you to pay attention to the way the cloud flat on the right, the player with the F over his head on the right side of the screen, turns and runs in man coverage with the wheel. He's going to watch the seam, he's going to stay outside, and then he's going to watch the wheel, and he's going to turn and run with the wheel. And I want you to watch how that works with Thielen running across the field on his post. So take a look at this. See how that just leaves this post route open because he plays man coverage. Now, Thielen dropped the ball, nothing we could control right there, but that simple adjustment right there will completely convert that cloud flat into man coverage. So watch Rudolph as he wheels up that sideline. Guy turns and runs. Thielen, post route, 35 yards. Pretty easy throw. Again, that ball spotted on the 30-yard line. I think we threw it to the other. It might have just been 30, but you can see right here, 30 to the other. Assuming we don't get block shedded here, we're gonna throw it to the other 40. So it's about 31 yards. So that's stealing right there from that regard. Now, another thing that you could do here, if you want to keep that fly motion, that fly sweep motion, is go ahead and put Thielen on a streak and motion him across the formation on this play. And what should happen, I believe, if it doesn't, we'll make a modification. If you could put the B receiver on an out route, I want to say that the B receiver will be wide open on the sideline. So let's take a look right here. And he is. You see how he's just going to be standing right there on the sideline? And that's because of that same rule. If you have a streak and a wheel on the same side of the field, any type of route that also attacks the sideline on that side will be wide open. It could be a route that crosses, a route that's already on that side of the field. By default, it will get open. So, you know, in theory, conceptually, you could go ahead and motion this guy out and do the exact same thing. I believe this is compression, but it should work the exact same way. Hook runs vertical, wheel route should convert the guy into man coverage. Out route wide open, up pass lead 20 yards. Pretty simple. So that fly sweep motion can be applied to pretty much anybody. Another thing you could do is wheel the running back. This is a simple adjustment you can make. Maybe you go with the post route as well. This is going to give you a low option on the sideline on the right and a high option on the sideline on the right, which is really nice because you're going to see the streak. You're going to see the wheel convert. The other wheel behind is going to be open. The post route is going to be open as well. So they can't use the post route in the middle of the field. That's going to be wide open as it crosses the field, and they can't use the running back. Now, again, Cousins doesn't have any mobility, but you can kind of see how that route, that zone coverage develops. So again, watch the player with the F over his head. Converts into man coverage on that player. Just going to try to prolong it. You see how right bumper and Y were both open on this play. You see how many big plays this video alone is getting here. We're just doing a little 20-25 minute seminar just on a couple plays. I mean, we're just on the tip of the iceberg in terms of what this offense can afford you. Tomorrow, we're going to be breaking down more of some tight end stuff as well. So let me go ahead and see what else I can do here with motion of the slot receiver. So we talked about stick. We've talked about switch comeback. Obviously, this jet sweep and the fly sweep stuff we talked about. You know, in terms of slot apprentice, I think that's really where it is. I mean, you obviously have your traditional zone beating concepts. So, like, don't get me wrong. Like, if your opponent's playing that stock cover 4 and you want to, like, mix in some motions, you always have the ability with that slot apprentice to put him on a post route. And, you know, you can do, like, the whip route thing and pull down zones and still, like, throw, like, you know, you've seen this offense, right? Like, where you basically have, like, hitches and streaks and posts and, you know, just all kinds of craziness where you can attack the field with these flat posts from slot apprentices and they just get wide open. See how that gets wide open against cover 4. So you don't even have to use motion of that receiver if you don't want to, but you can do the same thing back the other direction. I'm kind of rambling in terms of this, but it is a very freestyle feel with this. So, you know, you go to this post route. Maybe you go to something like this where you just kind of let him run back across the field. So you do something, you know, you let it snap and now he's going to run his post. He's going to go back across the field this way. And you throw just kind of like a little down pass lead so he stays in front of the cover 4 corner. You know, you can attack the middle field back across the field after that motion. There's a lot of things you can do, honestly. What else? Crossing routes. Obviously, you've got the ability to, against cover 4, especially if they're pressing, to really exploit them because they probably are going to baseline and press against something like this. That's going to allow you to do some, you know, crazy stuff like this with the slot apprentice. The other thing, too, is you got this little tight end hitch, which is really, really cute. You got the ability to kind of check it down underneath. It's in a really tender spot. You see how that crossing route just gets open. Honestly, you could have thrown that over the top for a one-play score against a baseline press cover 4. You know, this is just in general just beating zone. It's very, very simple at this point of the year. It all involves runoffs on one side of the field and then, you know, some sort of slot apprentice route. You know, you can run, you know, pretty crazy stuff. I mean, little in-route post combination. This will work as well. You know, this is your cover 3 look, and you're going to see how he's going to get just a pass laid over the top of all those zones to the far side of the field. Don't even have to use motion. So that is installation number 1 of the passing offense. Obviously, yesterday was about the jet sweep, guys. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about tight end apprentice or hot route master to the tight end and the motions that you can get out of him in this offense. Again, guys, this is in the Oakland Raiders playbook, part of the Oakland tour. I think it's one of the better under center 11 personnel, 11 meaning one back, one tight end. Stuff that I don't see a lot of people running. I think this offense is really good. Again, I faced this offense online before, and it gives me a ton of problems when I face somebody that runs it well. Fortunately, there's not too many people that run it well out there, but hopefully there'll be more after this video series is over. If you guys like the video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, or if you have any setups that you want to add to this, drop them below. Let's go ahead and build something together here as a community. I appreciate all the support, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow with the tight end installment to this offense. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.